Good afternoon. I'm Aleksandra Klitina, a journalist with Kyiv Post. We are interviewing Natalya Yemchenko, Director of Public Relations and Communications. SKM is Ukraine's largest investment group that has a global presence. SKM's sole owner and investor is Rinat Akhmetov. Natalya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are all horrified by the death and destruction that Russia's war against Ukraine has brought. But for your company and its owner, Rinat Akhmetov, with measured interest in the Donbass and especially in Mariupol, what has happened in the last 2.5 months must have been a particularly devastating blow. What has been the impact of Mr. Akhmetov personally, and how has he responded?
So probably I would start with the story how we met this war in the very late evening of 23rd of February. It was a big meeting of President of Ukraine with biggest business. In the office of President. It started 6 p.m. and it was something like 50 biggest businessmen and representatives of big business around the round table. It's table in the SNBO room. So we received very particular information, and the information from our government and from the president was like that. Situation is very complicated. Russia could invade Ukraine any moment, but we do believe that it would not happen. So it was less than 12 hours before the invasion. So in fact, we received the information that situation is very complicated. We deliver our message to the president as the biggest investor, as the biggest national investor in Ukraine, that we are with our country, we are with our government, and we are with our people. We will not move, and we will work until we could do it at least in some level, and we will support our country. And only after 12 hours, the war started. We all meet this war in our beds and our homes. So we all were in Ukraine, all top management of SCM, our workers and our shareholder. Here I should say that for us, it's not the first invasion. Actually, it's a second circle of the same war, which started in 2014. We examined the whole tragedy and the whole, I would say, I would name it like bloody turbulence 8 years ago. So from the point of view of understanding what is going on, we were ready. We had dramatic but very important experience of moving our enterprises. We have dramatic and very important experience of doing and acting under uncertainty. So we were quite mobilized, and in 24th of February, we started to act. From the very beginning, our shareholder took very particular position. He said to his comment to Radio Svoboda in the very first days of the war that it's a military aggression of Russian Federation against Ukraine. It's a war crime. Putin is a war criminal. So everything was clear from our side from the very, very, very beginning. We also declared, and shareholders said it in his very first comment, that we will support Ukraine. We will support Ukrainian people and people in the first line, in the front line for us. We would support our cities, municipal defense forces, and we would support armed forces of Ukraine. And each day, each moment, we stay on this position and act as Ukrainian patriotic business, but time we do a lot to explain to the world what is going on, because we have quite a strong voice in international markets. As far as we are international player, we are not just local company which act only in Ukraine. So we support Ukraine by all tools we have here in Ukraine, and in the same time, we tell the story. And this storytelling is also very important, not to allow the world to forget about this war, to normalize this war, to accept it as new normal, because it's not normal. It's a tragedy for Ukraine and for the whole civilized world. Probably I also should add that situation was clear for us from the very beginning because of 2014, but it became much more clear for the world after Bucha and European. And this, it's not just a war crime. It's like tragedy of the world scale. I mean, the same story in Kramatorsk, in railway station, you know, that it's especially cynical. But the biggest strategy at the moment is on the south of Ukraine and definitely in Mariupol.
I think
After
this
all
is
of
my
that,
next
we could say
question
that
about Mariupol, yeah.
We tend to treat it as a genocide of Ukrainian nation. If in the very beginning we were sure that this war is crime, but now we do believe that the main aim of this war is just to eliminate Ukrainians as a nation, and definitely it could be treated as a genocide.
The Russian destruction of Mariupol, it's SKM that owns the Azovstal plant, which has remained the center of Ukrainian resistance and the main target of Russian invaders. What is the official position of SKM on this?
Our official position is very clear, and again, it was announced in the very beginning by Rinat Akhmetov. He said that Mariupol was and would be Ukrainian city, and our steel plants, we have two in Mariupol, Ilyich steel plant and the legendary Azovstal. Mariupol is almost totally destroyed. It's destroyed much more than during Second World War. It's destroyed in a very cynical and in a very particular way. So the main idea of this operation of Russian army in Mariupol was to punish Mariupol for patriotic position in 2014. We're pretty sure on that. As far as it was one of the cities which were attacked by Russian Spring in 2014, and people of Mariupol decided to protect the Ukrainian, I would say, idea and Ukrainian identity over there, and were able to cope with it and receive 8 very prosperative and very, I would say, happy years in the city, which becomes like a symbol of how Ukrainian city in Donbass could look like, could feel like, could develop under good management, with support of the people, with cooperation between city, big business, civil society, which was on the other side. Mariupol is, and it's amazing that the city which become a symbol of the tragedy of this war, it was a city which was open for cooperation with anybody else, and this city was the main aim, was the main battlefield, and become the main battlefield for Russian Federation.
Is the workers of Azovstal enterprise managed to evacuate before Russian troops blocked the plant? Has SKM assisted in evacuation of any of its staff in Mariupol?
Unfortunately, as far as I said in the evening of 23rd of February, our main focus was to be ready, not to evacuate, but to be ready. We do not have a chance to create a big evacuation process. We were not, awaiting for such blockage and invasion in the very first, fortress. After 2014, we become to work with shelters, bomb shelters. It's quite, they are quite strong. We do a lot to refresh them, to prepare them for the future invasion, and they were ready to save more than 12,000 people. So all workers of Azovstal were able to shelter themselves on the bomb shelters of Azovstal. More than that, it was also possible for citizens of the Mariupol to be there. And we create something like strategic reserve: water, food, medicine, some generators, etc. So we create an infrastructure for people to be over there for weeks. Unfortunately, and Yuri Zhenkov said it in his interview last week, that we know we have contact only with 4,500 our workers of Azovstal out of 11,000, and we hope that part of them are in the bomb shelters of Azovstal. You know that right now big UN and ICRC with Ukrainian government and operation with Russian militaries. Actually, it's the first official operation of evacuation of people from Azovstal. Today it was reported that 5,000 people are already evacuated, and it's in process. So we hope that we would find our workers, part of our workers, arrived and in a safe situation after a couple of days in Zaporizhia. So program for workers from Azovstal and from Ilyicha. There are a lot of people under their situation, and we know from the mayor of the city, Vadim Boychenko, the scale of tragedy is unbelievable, and his numbers were more or less correct. On the very mid of April, we know that after that, the 3 weeks, definitely a humanitarian situation. I would like to say that we tried to evacuate our people from the very beginning of blockage. So we create like special park of buses, which were ready at any time to collect people. I don't know, we do not, tens, but probably hundreds of tries to do that, and it wasn't possible until a couple of days. So all evacuation which was in place after very beginning of March was on personal transport, and Russian troops didn't allow neither us nor anybody else to create effective evacuation by buses. So it was like, unofficial evacuation without any guarantees by personal cars or small buses.
My next question, what impact has the war imposed on the SCM group? Has the calculated financial and asset losses since the war?
To make any kind of calculations in a very particular business way, as far as war in progress, unfortunately, it could be quite long. What I would say that, and again, we did have such kind of experience in 2014. We know that our people first, what we definitely should be focused on helping people, helping cities, helping army. Could say that we deliver, like we spent already Ukrainians more than 2 billion hryvnias. It's like $70+ million, and it's just money we transfer to government, to people, etc. in the format of humanitarian help and aid, some defense stuff, etc. But it's like 1 million per day. $1 million per day, approximately. And in parallel with that, we, even before the war, we transfer $1 billion hryvnias to government as funds on our tax base. As far as situation is quite complicated, I don't know when this. Talking about the damages, what I could say, as far as Rinat Akhmetov announced it already, that definitely we would calculate, and definitely we would work on reparations from the Russia side. And now we could say that our 2 plants in Mariupol could be evaluated as $10 billion approximately, and definitely we would sue Russia for that. We would build something new based on what we have, with understanding how the whole reality will change, and with looking not only for mending some destroyment, but for the new opportunities, because we should be not just strong, we should find ourselves after this war even stronger. This is our big motto and big idea, to become even more stronger. And it's not just words, because it was nothing. Our experience after the war in 2014, when we lost huge amount of our enterprises, we lost like 30% of our business, and after 8 years, we were even more strong. We were even stronger, more flexible, more competitive. More technologically, like not innovative from the point of view of super new technology. So coming back to particular markets, to particular industries, for example, energy sector. As you know, on the 24th of February, Ukrainian's energy system was unbundled with Russian system, and after 3 or 4 weeks, I do not remember, I think at 16th of April, we become a part of European energy system. And we already operate as European energy, in European energy market. And from the point of view of Euro integration, it's like already the big, but Ukraine and DTEC as biggest energy player in Ukraine, it's our company, see Ukraine as a big and very important new energy partner for Europe, especially with this movement to, exclude Ukrainian or to exclude Russian oil and Russian gas from energy balance of European Union and of European markets. Definitely, it would be quite complicated for Europe. Nobody was ready to do it right now, but it's necessary, and it's move which is already done. And we do think that this embargo is a very important part of our joint victory. I mean, Ukraine and European society. And definitely, Europe would look for new sources of energy, and Ukraine has a lot to offer. Ukraine has, I would say, historical opportunity to bring not only, our problems and requests, but our resources, our technologies, and to become a partner of European Union and do another one move toward the European Union as a member. With the steel industry, it's the same. It's absolutely different situation from the point of view of readiness, because in energy markets we were moving toward the European Union like it was a big stream. Metinvest is already presented European countries by some assets. So we have a steel plant in Bulgaria, we have steel plant in Italy, we have steel plant in UK, which is not European Union already, but still Europe. And we effectively compete in this market. So we are ready to compete. Now when, all logistical movement are changed, or all logistical routes are changed and would be changed, it's quite complicated to say would be the strategy of Metinvest. But in any case, the strategy would be to become strong world-class and world from the point of view of presence steel company. We are ready to compete. We are ready to invest. We are ready to create new solutions in this terrible situation. For us, the idea of European integration, for us as a big business, still the most relevant was for Ukraine in generally and Ukrainian economy in generally, and for Ukraine right now. Why? Because European integration means very competitive Ukrainian enterprises. So Ukrainian enterprises would be forced to compete on European markets. It means that a lot of institutions in Ukraine would be forced to become stronger, especially we are talking about the court system, which should be reformed. And we do understand that without that, European integration rarely would be possible. About some investment in modernization, etc., and we are ready for that.
Maybe ecological issues, because it's very important for European Union, as I know.
Not only for European decarbonization, exactly. And we are, as the biggest Ukrainian investor, SCM, Metinvest, and DTEC, we are ready. First of all, we are ready to play on European rules. We are ready to invest. We are ready to support all necessary institutional changes here in Ukraine, and we are ready to be a reliable partner. And this is why I could say that European integration, it's not just, some political decision. It's also a very strong economical decision, which is, from our point of view, are absolutely possible and be very, very useful and supportive for Ukraine. It's not easy, but it would really make a change.
With all this war distractions, our partners, European Union and US and other countries, proposing a Marshall's Plan for Ukraine. How do you see realization of this plan, and how SKM could help to make it faster and more efficient?
First of all, I just would like to say that definitely post-war reconstruction would create a lot of opportunities, and it's our common aim and common task not to spare these opportunities, to use it in the most effective way. And we are, SCM and our investor, Rinat Akhmetov, we would not spare this chance to help Ukraine become a better country. I'm pretty sure that we would play quite a big role in this post-war reconstruction. You said about the Plan Marshall and that some European partners start to work on that. I would say that it's not only European, we have a lot of internal Ukrainian groups, the future after the war, after the victory. And as far as I know, at least 9 big initiatives. And actually both internal and external, then time to time something like common projects. And I think that at the moment, from the point of view of Marshall Plan, it's very important to synchronize initiatives and probably to create some platform for cooperation, coordination. And we are, again, as biggest national investor and in the same time as international player whose future is international, and we do believe that our future is international. We're pretty sure that we are as a business, are Ukrainian business with international perspectives. We are ready to help. We are ready to help. We are ready to support. We are ready to provide analytics expertise, especially in energy and in steel, but not only. Government said that it would be at least $1 trillion, which should be invested to rethink Ukrainian economy. But we have very special city. I'm talking about the Mariupol, which definitely, I said that I know at least 9 initiatives regarding Plan Marshall, and it's really important to put together all efforts and all great ideas and all expertise of members of these groups. And SCM is the biggest Ukrainian investor and owner of huge expertise in energy, in steel, in some innovation processes. We're ready to support. We're ready to participate. We definitely would deliver our experts, access to any kind of data, etc. But there is a very special story which need, from our point of view, the biggest effort for building. I'm talking about the Mariupol. Rinat Akhmetov said already that he's ready to invest in rebuilding of Mariupol. And I would like just to tell this point separately, to focus on that Mariupol is not just city with a huge strategy. It's a city of, legendary defense. It's a city which did and still does extremely big input in our joint victory of reconstruction is Mariupol. And Rinat Akhmetov said already that he's ready to invest in reconstruction and rebuilding, rethinking of Mariupol. And from this point of view, it's a separate Marshall Plan from our understanding. And we discuss right now to create this vision, which is extremely important, not to lose the story of the city, not to lose connection with people, civilians from Mariupol, and to create this new vision, new dream, new plan for the city, which did and still does a biggest impact in our joint victory, from my point of view. And unfortunately, right now, we do not have an access to Mariupol, so we can't say what could be saved, what not. But we know that a lot of historical buildings are destroyed. It's not only about our plans. It's about a city as historical place. This is why we do believe that all the initiatives of foreign countries like Italy, who said we would reconstruct the theater, Greece said that we will reconstruct some squares. We would like to create this Marshall Plan all together with all the countries and all international experts who are ready to rethink and redream this amazing city.
Okay, so here is my last question. Has this terrible war brought Mr. Akhmetov and President Zelensky any closer?
I would like to say that Rinat Akhmetov has no disagreements with the current team. We are definitely on the same team. We treat ourselves as partners of Ukraine and of Ukrainian government and of Ukrainian president. We will do all we could and probably even more to not only to stop this war, but to bring the victory to Ukraine, because Ukraine made amazing job, not only to stop the Russia, but also to deliver to the whole world the message that we are a strong state with very, I would say, special culture, and part of this culture is our ability to work together when the big aim is on the place. Probably I also would add that our common goal, as we understand it, our common goal with the country and with our president is building of European strong from the point of view of economy, a very competitive country, hopefully part of European Union, with a strong defense system, probably with new ideas for the whole Europe and probably only even for the whole world. I just would like to say that shareholder comment gave an answer on these questions time to time, as far as it's really important for the world to understand whether we are together or not. He has no personal disagreements, and the business of SCM is on the same position. So we are working together, and only in this unification we see real possibility to win.
Okay, thank you for this interview. So, Slava Ukraini!